and turns, because it was only 3 years later that I was first offered a position to teach at the University of Khartoum. I accepted the position and the challenge after first meeting John Garang, who by that time was a student at Iowa State. John convinced me that it was a great opportunity and it would be a challenge. He was right on both accounts. In addition to Garang, Dr. John Timmons also convinced me that it was the best thing for me to do. Dr. Timmons even called my wife, Corinne, and asked her if she knew that we were going to Sudan. She said she hadn't heard anything about it. But Dr. Timmons told Corinne, don't worry, you are going to Sudan, and so we did. This began my adventure and friendship with Sudan, the Sudanese people, with all the challenges that I've had, and for that I have to thank John Garang and John Timmons. Over the last 2 decades, I've had the opportunity to know John and his family. His wife Rebecca is with us today, and he is a friend, a colleague, and a wonderful human being. He has a tremendous sense of humor with which he has been able to withstand the ups and downs of running a liberation movement, as well as providing leadership for his people. Allow me to take a few minutes to share some of my thoughts and experiences of working with John, because we do work together. When I finally got to Khartoum in the early 80s and began teaching, it soon appeared to me that if we were to establish a master's program in Ag Econ, which was my task, we need to have students that could be similar in terms of, and bring that program to the standards that were similar to that of Iowa State. What was needed were more ISU graduates in economics to teach with me. Fortunately, one of them soon returned back with his PhD from Ames, and although he was still in the Army, we were able to convince John to teach part-time with us at the University of Khartoum till May of 1983. May of 1983 is a very historical time because that was when John started the SPLM, and when he acquired the profession of a rebel leader, in addition to that of a university lecturer, colonel in the Army, and an economist. I remember vividly the night he left Khartoum to go to the south. We were originally supposed to travel together, but John came by and said that plans had changed. He did not tell me what was going to happen. But he was a very conscientious professor, because he gave me the students' exam papers before he left so that the grades could be turned in on time. And he was one professor who really cared about his students, even though there were a lot of other things on his mind that night in May of 1983. I'd like to fast forward now to May, June 1987. This was when, for the first time, the SRRA, which is the Sudan Relief and Rehab Association, visited Washington, D.C. Naturally, I wanted them to speak at the U.S. Department of Agriculture and talk about the situation in Sudan, especially humanitarian needs. However, the State Department called me, and they said they were not ready to talk to the SRRA or even work with them. They said I shouldn't even have that meeting on any U.S. government property. We had to take them out to dinner, which we did. But things have changed dramatically over this time period, from 1987 till 2002. I only bring this up because just a week ago, not only did Dr. John meet the Secretary of State, Colin Powell, but also was received in the West Wing of the White House. And this is the real White House, not the one on TV. So things have come a long way in relations between the U.S. and the SPLM. It has only taken a few years, but as the old adage goes, it's better late than never. John has a vision of peace through development, which he will share with you today, and one that also the U.S. government shares and supports. Last year, after President Bush's special humanitarian envoy for Sudan, Andrew Natsios, visited Sudan, he announced 2 new programs to help prepare Southern Sudanese for peace. Andrew Natsios is also a very close friend of John Garang. These announcements to support basic education and revitalize agriculture in Southern Sudan total over $42 million over the next 5 years. Seeing this great crowd of Sudanese here today, I can only encourage you to get involved in bringing back or taking back your talents to achieve peace, but also implementing these programs in Sudan. Finally, John, let me join everyone here today in welcoming John and Rebecca back to Ames, back to the Midwest. Welcome, John, to your home and back to your roots in Iowa. Thanks. And now it's my great pleasure to present to you Dr. John Garang Dimabio. John.
Thank you very much, Dr. Helen, for your kind remarks and for reminding me about my PhD dissertation, which I don't remember. Since I've been to other things. But it is good to be back again and to be reminded of those good days. I went before and checked. I tried to check at the economics department the pigeonhole post office where you get the results of your preliminary exams. I could see it. This is something you see with a lot of fear as to what you will get in the in that mailbox. So thank you for reminding me, and thanks to my friend Dr. Brian De Silva, with whom we have known each other for a long time. Let me begin by introducing my delegation, who are here in the audience. Rebecca Dimabio is my wife, and she's also She's much more than my wife. She's an alternate commander in the army of the SPLA. An executive director of an organization called Woodlands that takes care of widows, orphans, and the disabled. Yasser Arman. Yasser Arman is a commander in the SPLA, and he is our representative of the SPLM in Asmara, in Eritrea. And he's also the spokesman and deputy secretary for information for the National Democratic Alliance. John Duku Andruga is our representative to the Nordic countries, and is based in Copenhagen, and is a member of the delegation now. Hashim Bedreddin. Hashim Bedreddin Muhammad is a commander. Is a commander of our special forces, the special forces of the SPLA. That's why he's standing there. You can see he is indeed special. Other members of the delegation are elsewhere in the United States. I think they were in San Diego yesterday. They include Dr. Riek Machar, Commander James Wani, Commander Nial Deng Nial, Commander Taban Dengai, Dr. Ann Ito, is old Annie? And Commander Malik Agar of Southern Blue Nile, and Dr. Samson Kwaje of our information department.